Hi guys, and welcome to another video from Stupid as a Norm, the channel where we demonstrate how to become a millionaire in 10 years whilst earning only minimum wage. And in this episode I want to give you 14 examples of minimum wage stress-free jobs that you can use to make yourself wealthy. So let's be honest with each other, nobody likes to work hard. So what I've done is I've found 14 jobs that are easy to do and don't require any management skills and are pretty much stress-free. They're jobs you can, for the most part, you can tag on the end of your current job, or you can do what I chose to do, which was to give up the job I was originally doing, which was working behind a bar, and become a cab driver full-time. And that's because it's much easier to go into work and do 5 12-hour shifts, 60 hours a week, rather than do your own current job and then go to a different job afterwards. Now, a lot of these jobs allow you to work 12-hour shifts, which to me is preferable. I'd rather, if I have to work 48 hours, I'd rather do it in 4 days, 4 12s, rather than spread it over 5 days, because it gives you 3 days off. But what it also allows you to do is lots of overtime. So you could do 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days in some cases, working 12-hour days. And of course, at my age, I'm a little older than probably most of you, but if you're over 21 in this country, it's around about £10 an hour. So it's not to be sniffed at. My aim here is to try and get you to work an extra 20 hours a week. If you're already working 40, we need to bump it up to 60. And that extra 20 hours income we're going to use to invest. Now, don't listen to the naysayers here who say that, oh, you need some downtime and oh, it's too much work and you'll burn yourself out. What they mean when they say that is this: if they try to do that, they would burn themselves out. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, I and we are not them. And we want to work harder because we know all that extra income makes us retire earlier. So don't listen to them. You know, it wasn't so long ago, 100 years or so, that the human race was working a lot harder than it is now. 36 hours is now considered full-time, but 100 years ago, when we were working a subsistence living on the land, we were working from sunrise to sunset. So, and the body thrives on activity. The body does not do well on inactivity. So long as it's getting nourishment, the body will thrive on 12 hours a day. So in no particular order, here are 14 jobs. The first one is looking at security. Security are typically 12-hour shifts. You work 5 days a week, there's 60 hours. And a lot of security is just sitting around watching TV screens and then doing a loop of the building every hour or so. So if you're working 12-hour shifts, it's £120 a day. You do that 5 days a week, there's 600 quid. Could you work for 12 hours a day, mainly sat on your backside watching TV screens for 600 quid a week? I could. Here's 2 more sectors that are always crying out for work. The first one, supermarkets. They can't get enough staff, supermarkets. It's pretty much simple work. You're filling shelves, what have you. Again, doesn't require a lot of management skills. Just go in, do the task, pick up your money, go home. I would even consider doing night shift. If you don't like mixing with the public, go and do a night shift. Again, they're always calling out for them. The second one is anything in hospitality. Anything to do with restaurants, bars, hotels, crying out for staff. Again, it's minimum wage, no responsibility, no stress. Another 2, well, what about takeaways? Takeaway deliveries. I've got a friend of mine who does takeaway delivery, works 3 nights a week, makes 80 quid a shift. That's including he gets a fixed wage and then a per delivery fee, and then he gets to keep his tips, and he gets a free supper. So 3 nights a week, you'd make 80 quid, 240 quid extra a week. What's wrong with that? And the next thing you want to do is Uber. If you don't mind driving, you have your own car, then you can finish work, whatever you're doing right now, and go into work for Uber and clock on for 4 or 6 hours, whatever you want to do. You get to pick the jobs you want. You don't get sent jobs. There are jobs come up and you choose which ones you want, whether it's close to you, whether it's further away because you want more money. Again, 2 easy jobs, minimum wage, stress-free. And if you don't fancy Uber, but you have a car and you don't mind putting it to use, then go and deliver for Amazon. At my depot, my cab depot, we have some Amazon deliveries there. We organise it from there on behalf of Amazon, and I stopped one of the ladies the other day. She was using her own private car, saloon car, and I said, would you mind telling me just how much you make, just in case the taxi thing doesn't work out? And she says, no. She says, I come in here, I'm a single mother, I drop my bairn off at school, I come here, load the car up as fast as I can. I don't see it as a social occasion. A lot of the guys come in here, take a bit of time, chat, have a cup of tea. I don't. I come in, grab my parcels, load it up and get out and do 3 hours work, and I'll make 80 quid in those 3 hours. What a fantastic way for a single parent to make extra money. Lots of opportunities out there, guys. There's just one more. How about working in a takeaway joint? I've got a friend of mine who works for a world famous fried chicken emporium, and he regularly works 12-hour shifts and does it 7 days a week. Again, not a glamorous job, but it pays good money, and to do that over 7 days, what's that, 840 quid a week? It's not bad money. What about warehousing? Again, I see adverts all the time on my phone for people who want people to work in their warehouses, especially now as people are getting loads of stuff delivered. Everybody expects Amazon to deliver the next day. You know, you've got DHL, DPD, all the big delivery companies are crying out for warehouse guys. What about the care industry? Again, it's minimum wage, but they're crying out for staff. And if you enjoy working with people, it could be the career that makes your life, if you love working with people. Not for me, I have to say. I'm not a great people person, which is probably, I shouldn't be in cab driving if that's the case. But there we are. For some people, it sits them down to the ground. What about a betting shop? Again, minimum wage. You don't have to be good at maths. The computers do everything now. And most of the time in a betting shop, you're sat by yourself playing on your phone. Again, stress-free, great way to make money. What about working in a factory? Factories are great for overtime. They always want overtime, and they often do shift patterns with 13-hour shifts on and working 4 on, 4 off. So you can get your 52 hours in there, and because there's lots of overtime, you can do extra work too. What about working, this is hard work by the way, working as a labourer on a site. Lots of companies, self-employed, would take guys on a jobbing basis. Once you can work for this job, do 4 hours a day or whatever, and then when the job's done, you're finished. But lots of guys will take you on full time. Again, they want labourers, and the better ones will put you through your CSCS card, so you get more skills, and the more skills you get, the more money you earn at the same time. What about a KP? It's what we call a kitchen porter. Guy who works in a restaurant or a bar and does the washing up. Again, not a glamorous job, but it pays hourly and there's always loads of overtime. And finally, it's night cleaning. If lots of guys, you know, factories, offices, they need cleaners in. The cleaning work has to be done at night time, so if you're a bit of a night bird rather than you like to work during the day, it could be the ideal resource for you. But what all these are, the minimum wage, they're not glamorous. They're not something you can brag about. And I think it's important to underline that lots of people will not take these jobs on because they're not glamorous, because they're playing the status game again. You know, they won't give up their sales executive job where they get a minimum wage there and a bonus should they sell something, because they have the name, the title, they can tell people I'm a sales executive, and they're not a warehouseman or a cab driver or what have you. But again, you have to put behind you the status game here. We're not looking for status. You shouldn't be caring what other people think of you. What we're doing here is working 60 hours a week on a minimum wage. You can live off 40 and invest the other 20. That's the name of the game, to get wealthy, not to care or bother about what other people think about us. And that's it. But I couldn't really go without mentioning my own job, because I'm just a cab driver. I drive people from A to B and I get paid every 20 minutes. Often it's cash too. It's a stress-free job. When I go to bed at night time, I don't think about the things that have happened the day before, and I don't think about planning my day tomorrow, because I just get up and go to work. People jump in the car and say, "Where are you going, mate?" "I'm going to so-and-so." I take them there and I say, "That's £6. And they say, "There's £6, have £2 for yourself as well." What's stressful about it? I drive around, I've got a temperature controlled environment and an office with a view. To me, it's the best job in the world. It's not the greatest in terms of glamour again, but it pays the bills, and it pays well, by the way. But you've got to work a lot of hours, and that's what it's all about. I work 60 hours a week now, getting a bit slack there, because when I first started this, I was working 80 hours for the first 2 years. But again, it's a minimum wage, stress-free job. There are lots of jobs out there, guys, that you can use to your advantage and turn them into a route, a vehicle, pardon the pun, to make you wealthy. Don't be stupid and don't be normal, guys.